Everyone's calling the new Netflix documentary of Thabo Bester and Dr Nandi boring and quite frankly useless, and I'm going to agree with them because what we got on that other app on Showmax was more details than what we got on this one. But here's the thing, we got Pearl Thusi this time around, and that's what I want to talk about today. So, hi, I'm Nawalami and welcome to Katchup TV. Do not forget to subscribe and like this video because you're watching and you're not subscribed. There is an unsettling piece of the puzzle that Showmax seemed to skip over, and that is the link between Thabo Bester and Pearl Thusi. Could she be much closer to this story than we could ever imagine? And what she commented and told us on the Netflix documentary, could she? So here's the short version. Thabo Bester used Facebook and fake personas to lure women who wanted to be in the entertainment industry. Women that wanted to do modeling, women that want to be TV presenters, you name it. He became known as the Facebook rapist. In 2011, he was arrested, convicted for multiple robberies and also the murder of Nomfundo Tahulu. He then got a life sentence and a couple more years. But the details get a bit disturbing. Nomfundo met Thabo Bester at BMW when he was looking to buy a car, and she used to work there, of course. Bester told her that he worked in TV production and promised her opportunities. Classic grooming, honestly. They started a long-distance relationship, texting, calling for months. And then in September 2011, he flew her out to Cape Town for what he said was a photo shoot. They stayed at a luxury hotel. After an argument about Bester still seeing his former girlfriend, things turn fatal. And this is where I want to talk about those disturbing details, right? Pause. Let's just go on. We'll come back to this. Don't forget. Bester argued with Nomfundo. He ran and got a knife, and then you know what he did, right? Nomfundo's life ended right there. Bester tied her up on the bed, took her laptop and phone, and left the room that morning. By the evening, the owners of that hotel found Nomfundo in the bed. Sadly, her life ended that evening. All night. Now let's talk about how Pearl Thusi enters the story, because it seems like Nomfundo and Bester and the three of them met each other in 2011, and yeah, Pearl Thusi also crossed paths with Bester. I feel like that is a tongue twister, but anyway, you get what I'm saying. In a police affidavit, she said she met Bester in June 2011, where he threatened her life while they were driving somewhere, requesting to get her devices, laptop, phone, and all that. She tried to negotiate with him, asking for her laptop back because it has pictures of her daughter and she cannot afford to lose that, you know. And he agreed. Shockingly, a thief agrees to give you back your devices, right? And then Pearl offered in the back of her car while they drove to see the pastor. The police later retrieved this pocket knife at Pearl's Randburg home. She said that she cut contact after she was warned about this scammer by Dunisho, and then later learned of his crimes in the media. So what is tricky for me here is Nomfundo. Bester says, yeah, Nali Nomfundo, they were arguing before he ended her life, right? They were arguing about a girlfriend that he had back then, well, an ex-girlfriend that he had. Could the ex-girlfriend be Pearl, because Pearl met Bester also in June, and then they were fighting in the car about whatever, and then actually they were not fighting. Bester threatened Pearl's life. I don't know how you know someone, they end up in your car and then they threaten your life, and then you still offer to take them to a pastor. I would feel that you'd only do that for someone you really know, and you're like, you know what, you're not this person, come on, you're not this person, I can help you. but I offer someone a ride, or maybe it's just an acquaintance and they're in my car and I offer to drop them off somewhere. No, guys, I'm going to the cops. I am not going to help you. But anyway, that is Pearl's story. And I understand how she was crying and she's like, she could have helped, or if she spoke out sooner, Nomfundo would still be alive. But I don't think she should put that blame on herself. I don't think she has anything to do with that. That is not on her. But what I want to talk about, could Pearl be another girl that dated Bester? Why would she feel the need to help this man? Guys, come on, you can't just... Ladies, do we help guys? But anyway, so Pearl is the girl maybe that dated Bester for a couple of months and she got away. Said Funda didn't get away. Now Nandi Pearl the ride or die lady. So here is where the two stories echo each other in detail, right? Both the women met Bester in 2011. Both of them had their devices taken from them by Bester using a knife, and Bester also in the other video where he's speaking to a psychologist or a psychiatrist or a psychologist of some sort, they're in the prisons. He says that he uses a knife to feel power, to feel like he has you in his control. So yeah, he did this to both these women, and both the ladies, one wanted to be in the industry, one was already in the entertainment industry. So he knew his victims, he knew who he was targeting. And then also both these incidents happened in 2011. So kuri madia like igazi laga Bester belifuna igazi nje that year. Asazi, it seems like there are other bodies because there's a police affidavit where, or there's a story about other bodies, but I don't want to get into that because I don't know much about it. Bester also kept a lot of aliases, he had a lot of phone numbers. It was a clear pattern of deception. So tell me what you think in the comment section. Do you think Pearl could be the ex-girlfriend that Bester and Nomfundo were fighting about on that fatal night? What do you think? For me, the timeline fits. They both met him in 2011, one earlier, well, one mid-2011, the other just a tidbit later, and the other was still seeing him going on vacation, and yet they're arguing about an ex-girlfriend. What do you think? So there is no public record saying that Bester and Pearl were in a relationship, but this is just speculation because of how the timeline seems to fit and how this puzzle piece is matching the puzzle. And what Pearl Thusi was saying in the Netflix documentary of Beauty and the Bester, how she could have prevented Nomfundo passing away, that to me, I was just like, oh no, you cannot think like that. But yeah, when I saw this article, when I read what people were putting out there online, I was like, now it makes sense. It is me. Then it just shows how manipulative and evil Bester is. And I don't want to say Nandipa's not at fault, but this just shows how far Bester can go to manipulate and control a woman. Now imagine a woman with 2 kids, a woman that's a doctor, has her reputation but Nandipa clearly didn't care about all of that. And you see how I'm thinking right now, ne? I think the purpose of that Netflix documentary was for us to see Nandipa as a victim, for us to sympathize with Nandipa, because Pearl telling us her story, and now we're going back to 2011 because there's a victim and there's a woman that actually passed away that dated Bester. Now we see how these women are being used by Thabo, and we see how they can get manipulated. And these are women that have worked their way up. They're in the industry. One is a doctor. Nomfundo was working for BMW. She was doing well for a 26-year-old, you know. I'd like to think. Working for BMW seems like a good thing, you know. So now we are seeing Nandipa as the victim. We're seeing Nandipa as damsel, and you know what? Bester is the monster, the beast, I guess. Beauty and the Beast. Now we're forgetting that Nandipa skipped the country, left her kids in school to run off with a man that was once a Facebook rapist, a man that killed. And then Nandipa is helping this man escape from prison. Nandipa puts her family in contact with this man. Netflix documentary on Netflix, Nix. It had nothing. It had forgotten. Honestly, it had nothing. But what they did was for us to see Nandipa as a victim and sympathize with her and realize that, you know what, this man can play with your head. There's even somebody in that documentary, I think the guy, we didn't see the guy's face. The guy was like, even when Bester came into prison, they were told that do not interact with him too much because he will talk to you in such a way that it will weaken you and you will want to help him. This man knows how to play with your mind. So they're trying to make us see Bester in this light. He's a bigger monster. That's why Nandipa fell for him. That's why Nandipa did so much. And that's why all these other people did so much. Where is your moral compass here if you did so much? But then again, you know, love will make you do crazy things. When they came, he did this for me, he did that for me, he showed me love, he showed me support, he protected me, he did, you know. Then maybe I could feel sorry. I know Pearl Thusi came we were in a relationship and Nomfundo was in a relationship. So maybe if Pearl was the girlfriend and she was like, you know what, Bester treated me well. I didn't see him as this scammer guy, and Bomang were warning me about, you know, he treated me well, he paid for this, he took me there, you know, he protected me, you know. Then maybe Nandipa, because rumors also have it that it seems like, I don't know, could Nandipa have been in an abusive relationship, that when he found Bester, he found a man that could ease her stress and heal her wounds, you know. Seems apparently, but Bester, Nandipa. If you then found this breakdown useful, smash that subscribe button and like this video, and don't forget to tell me what your thoughts are about Beauty and the Bester and Thabo Bester and Nandipa and Thabo Bester and Pearl also in that situation, you know. Please know that YouTube thinks you love this video over here, so don't go anywhere.